Welcome to our game today, which is between Ivan Sokolov and Levon Aronian. This is from Turin in 2006, and Aronian is playing with the black pieces. So we see the game begins by Sokolov playing d4, then we have knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. We have the Nimzo-Indian defense. Queen c2, d5, c takes e5, e takes e5, bishop g5, pinning the knight, followed by c5, d takes e5, and here in the game you can see that Aronian plays h6. Now you might think, well, wouldn't it be a great move to go d4 because you'd end up winning the knight. So can you see what's wrong with that move? Because it looks like you're winning a knight. Well, white can play the rather wonderful castles, and now the pawn is pinned to the queen. You have to take, and then after pawn takes, again you can't take. So after playing something like knight c6 and the pawn goes, we see that white is now up to 3 pawns. So that's why Aronian plays h6. So we get h4. Aronian plays g5, pushing back the bishop to g3, and we had knight to e4. Now here Sokolov plays a very crafty move. He plays bishop to b8. So what would you play here if you were playing? Well, you might think, well, clearly I need to capture my bishop back. Well, what would happen if you capture the bishop back? Why is this a bad move? Why is it a sneaky move? Can you see what the problem is? Well, you have this lovely queen to a4 check, meaning this is unprotected. So whether you play bishop to d7 or if you push with the pawn, you're losing your bishop. So a very sneaky move. So after Sokolov takes the knight, Aronian goes to f6. Now f6 is lining up the battery here, which means you'd end up winning the rook with check. So we get g3, then we get knight takes, and here, as we said, Sokolov does not take, because if he takes very simply, you end up forking the king and the rook. So instead he plays a3. So after a3 we get f5. Great move here, attacking the queen and developing a piece. So here we see Sokolov plays a very nice move, classified by chess.com as a great move. He goes queen to d2. And then we get a5, because if he tried to move this away anywhere, basically the bishop was hanging here. Now Sokolov plays a move here which ends up being a blunder. And to be fair, you can understand why he played it, because I'd probably play it myself. He plays b4. Now b4 is a bad blunder. Why is b4 a bad blunder? Well, we're going to see. Can we see a nice move for Aronian here? Well, Aronian goes knight to e4, forking both of these, but of course the bishop is not for free, but attacking the queen. So the queen has to move. Queen goes to c1, and here we see Aronian plays a brilliant move. What's the brilliant move? What can you see what the brilliant move is? Well, it's the rather wonderful rook to c8. So rook to c8. Why are you not just hanging your piece? What's going on here? Well, if you decided to take here, you get rook attacking. So where does the queen go from here? Queen has to go to d1 now. queen goes to d1, has to stay on the back file because otherwise this would fall to the queen. After check, queen can only block and we get checkmate. That's one of the lines. So after c8 we see here, you can take the bishop that is now hanging. So he goes to a2, trying to get extra protection. And after that we have rook to c5. And what a lovely move this is, because now after taking that pawn you can no longer take here because this pawn is now pinned to the king, so you can't take the rook back. And so we got queen to a1, trying to trade off the queens here, which would make his life a little bit easier. And here we have another brilliant move by Levon Aronian. Can you find it? He plays queen to c6. Queen to c6, letting this rook hang with check, knowing that he can no longer take this rook because it's pinned to here. If he decides to take this that's hanging, of course you end up getting mated. So c6, wonderful. So what do you do here? Well, after c6, Sokolov could have played check, moving the king. Then we had d2, but after d4, after check, we can see that black is just completely winning here. After bishop b6 and a takes, you got a4 check, and you're not going to defend this position. So after c6, what happened in the game was we actually got queen to e5 check, d8. Now here the queen takes with check, and after the king goes to d7, Sokolov resigns because he resigns after rook to a1. You go check, check, checkmate. So a really wonderful attacking game by Levon Aronian, really exploiting Sokolov here, and a lovely game involving a lot of tactics by Aronian. So thank you very much for watching.